Across South Africa, communities are being decimated by a deadly narcotic known as Nyaopi.
It goes straight into the blood, to your heart, to your lungs.
This is a story of a drug epidemic fueled by corruption.
Low-rank officer take bribe, high-rank officer they take bribe.
And one man's fight for redemption.
Nyaopi has cost me my wife, it's cost me my child, it's cost me everything.
A drug epidemic is raging in townships across my country. Nyaopi is a highly addictive heroin-based narcotic, which sometimes contains HIV medication. It's often mixed with marijuana and smoked or injected. This drug is slowly eating away at South Africa's first post-apartheid generation, and I want to find out why. My name is Gordon Mtika. I'm a local crime reporter. I know the dangers of Nyaopi more than most. In the past 6 years, the drug has claimed the lives of 2 of my young nephews. I've come to the odd neighborhood in search of answers. In the crowd, I spot one of my nephew's old friends. Jesus came from a good home and was always immaculately dressed. I can't believe how far he's fallen. I would like to talk to him, but he's too far gone. Seeing Jesus has brought back painful memories. In the space of 5 years, I lost my twin nephews, Innocent and Enoch, to Nyaopi. Both of them, my nephews, were Nyaopi addicts. We tried our best, in fact, to give them or to guide them to stop smoking this Nyaopi. And at the end of the day, they ended up losing their lives. This is where Enoch and Innocent have been laid to rest. I'm sitting here, right on top of this grave, and I've got my 2 nephews laying here, who died for nothing. Life is so cheap. The loss of my nephews has had a devastating effect on me and my family, but we are not alone. Most families have been affected by Nyaopi. You only have to turn the radio on, and TV, newspapers, you see stories of Nyaopi every day.
Power 98.7.
This is Power Breakfast here on Power. I want to hear from you how Nyaopi has affected your life.
I wanted to talk about my brother. He was smoking Nyaopi.
What is it about your brother that's disappointing you and hurting you?
He's stealing people's stuff. He lives in the streets. He says he'll stop, then he doesn't stop.
After what happened to my nephews, I'm determined to help Jesus escape his addiction before he suffers the same fate. I find him scavenging in an open sewer. Like thousands of other addicts, he is desperate to buy his first fix of the day. He agrees to talk, but seems distracted.
I need to finish rolling and start lighting, you know, and start smoking. In the morning, it's hell, man. Yo, hell on earth. I feel like you are literally dying. Like your intestines are being cut by some razor blade. At some point, when you're like that, you end up doing some very, very awful things.
Is there anything that you wouldn't do if you didn't get a fix?
I would literally do everything. If it means I'll have to go shoot somebody or go stab somebody, I will do it.
Guys, it's tough.
How are you feeling?
Oh, hey, I feel so relieved right now after having this pool, you know. Now I'm relaxed, you know.
But feeding his addiction is a constant challenge.
Is it hard to get Nyaopi into the township?
Simple as saying, dancing. Yo, there's no escape. No escape.
It's hard seeing just how low Jesus has fallen. But in the nightmare world of Nyaopi, you can always sink lower. As I discovered, some of Jesus' friends are going to potentially deadly extremes to feed their addiction. In search of a bigger hit, they not only inject the drug, but also share the same needle.
So are you not scared of HIV?
We are scared.
You don't know our blood status yet, you know, but yet we share this thing for our craving.
These guys are already taking one hell of a risk, but what I was about to see next was truly chilling. After injecting the Nyaopi, the addict draws his own blood back out into the syringe.
This is what we call expensive blood, because now it has Nyaopi.
To make the hit go further, this mixture of blood and Nyaopi will then be injected by the others.
If I take this blood and inject it to my body, I'm going to be high at the same level that he is. Going straight into the blood, to your heart, to your lungs, then is disappearing throughout your body.
What I'm witnessing is sheer madness.
It's very scary just before you do it, but you'll just be brave because of the cravings.
This is exactly what we call Bluetooth. One of fresh.
If he has HIV or myself I have it means I pass it to him. Simply so.
When I saw that drawing blood from himself and injecting the other one, it scared me most. My body was like, you know, crumbling. He's gonna inject with that syringe. It's a suicide. That's a complete suicide for me.
Seeing Jesus' friends risking their lives for Nyaopi has made me more determined than ever to try to save him.
I'd really love to see myself out of this hellhole. But it's the cravings. The pain feels like it's gonna take out your soul, you know.
A few days later, the rehab center has agreed to take Jesus, and I go to try and find him again. I find him at one of his regular spots, but it's not looking good. He's already smoking. I wonder if he'll still feel the same about going into rehab.
Do you think you'll miss this?
Would you love being caged? Or would you love having a chain that pulls you up at 3 o'clock in the morning? Every day.
Nyaopi has cost me my wife, has cost me my child, it's cost me everything.
This is a new beginning, a new start, and I have to be 100% serious on this one.
Jesus says his goodbyes. His resolve is strong. But I need to get him to the center before his cravings begin. The 10th Commandment Rehab Center in Tembisa claims to have a success rate of over 70%. It runs a strict regime. Jesus is looking tense.
You are destroying our lives away. puff and puff. We are smoking our lives away. You were listening to the voice of Rezen. Yes, indeed, I'm talking about you, demon. Yes, today, Nyaopi, if we knock to our door, we never open.
Thank you.
Joseph is a former Nyaopi addict who mentors new arrivals.
Welcome home.
Joseph sits Jesus down and explains the sentence rules. He looks scared, but it's too late to back out. Jesus has been addicted to Nyaopi for almost a decade. He will be kept under lock and key until he's clean. This program may be his last hope for redemption. The next day, I return to see how Jesus is doing.
I just want us to be, you know, hey. Hey, my body, hey. Hey, it's hell. Just like right now, I'm feeling hot and cold. Hot and cold, hot and cold. You wanna sleep, you can't sleep. It's tiring your body. It's making your whole body uncomfortable.
But despite the cravings, Jesus still seems determined.
I'm gonna beat you this game. It's not gonna beat me.
It's time for me to leave Jesus. Now he must fight his demons alone. I hope he can find the strength to beat Nyaopi. If he can, there's a chance he can rebuild his life and connect with his family again.
Sir, yeah? Can I join your story? Yes, of course. I was just telling them about my adventure in Dubai. I would love to hear it. So I was at the Souk Madinat, enjoying a nice, quiet day by myself. A lady walked up to me and whispered,
هدية من دبي اكتشفها.
هدية من دبي اكتشفها. It means a gift from Dubai for you to discover.
Where the sea is built on land, stories will appear from the sand.
Listen. And that's how my adventure began.
Where the sea is built on land, stories appear from the sand? What does that mean?
You tell me.
Thousands of young South Africans are in exactly the same situation as Jesus. But who are the shadowy people responsible for flooding our townships with the drug? Through my underworld contacts, I've managed to find a Nyaopi trafficker who's willing to talk to me. But he's suspicious.
There'll be no any problem at all, I promise you. Yeah.
I've heard he's a key supplier to dozens of local Nyaopi dealers.
There's a lot of kilos here, up to 5 kilos.
Okay, the stuff that we have it here, how long would it last for you?
It can last for 2 days. It can last for 3 days. This is just the remaining stuff. When we run out of stock, we get more.
How much to get?
Up to 10 kilo. 10 kilos.
One township, 10 kilos. I can't imagine the misery this is causing.
How does it make you feel when you look at one of the youths here in the township, has lost hope in his life just because he's smoking the stuff?
Us as drug dealers, for children to come and buy drugs from you and smoke, we don't feel fine for giving them drugs, but we don't have option.
Oh, so this is basically for the sake of money?
For the sake of money, because life is difficult.
Nyaopi has long been illegal in South Africa. So how can dealers like these operate so openly?
How do you deal with the cops?
We deal with them, they know it's a business. They're also hustling with us.
All right, you just have to bribe them.
You just have to bribe them.
How much would you give a cop?
Every day you can spend up to 500 to cops, patrollings.
Is it on the junior level cops or up to the higher rank?
It doesn't matter whether you're a high rank officer or a low rank officer. Low rank officer take bribe. High rank officer, they take bribe. The cops know all the dealers. There is no dealers the cops doesn't know.
He's selling Nyaopi and he doesn't care. What he cares about is money. I've lost my 2 nephews through this Nyaopi. I think for me the government needs to come in very strongly and arrest each and every person who is dealing in Nyaopi because they are killing our society. I've managed to find a cop who's prepared to talk about corrupt officers who are feeding off the drug trade. I'm meeting him at a secret location.
Hello.
Hi, my friend.
So, my brother.
Yeah, I'm already around this area.
Oh, okay.
He really sounds a bit nervous, but he's promised that he's coming. We've disguised his identity to protect him. Do you notice that Nyaopi is now very common in our streets, almost like every corner of our street?
Yes. Most especially in our townships. There is a lot of Nyaopi. It's killing our country, our community, our children, and our brothers.
How frustrating is it to you?
I'm trying to combat crime and protect members of the community. But some of our members, they are taking bribes to those who supply Nyaopi.
How could the corruption be stopped?
To stop corruption, arrest those police officers who's involved in crime.
This cop is taking a big risk talking to me.
It's very dangerous to cover up that story. They can kill me and also my family.
Thanks for speaking to me and be safe.
Thank you. You are welcome, my brother.
The most disappointing thing about these police getting bribes from the dealers is that they're giving them the freedom to operate in our townships freely and making drugs accessible to our children very easily. I want to find out just how widespread the problem of corruption within the police force has become. A Nyaopi street dealer has agreed to wear a secret camera, but it's very risky. The cops usually arrive just after changing the shift, and they would drive around the township, seeing each and every dealer to collect money from them. It doesn't take long for a cop to take a bribe. Over the next 4 days, our cameras captured police officers repeatedly receiving bribes from a known drug dealer. We've obscured their faces to protect his identity. This is pretty obvious. A police van pulls in and the dealer of Nyaopi comes to the police and he tells them business is not good, but I'll give you cold drink. And in South African terms, cold drink means I'll give you bribery. For the love of money, they just collect money and they leave these drug dealers to roam around in our streets, sell drugs freely. So to me, this is not good. It's not good at all. Not only to me, but to everyone else in our society. We put these allegations to the South African Police Service. In response, they said that police always encourage members of the public to come forward and report information on crime, and highlighted recent high-profile arrests of drug dealers in the Johannesburg area. It's been 6 months since I left Jesus in rehab. We've been supporting his treatment, and I've heard he's now clean of Nyaopi.
Hi, Jesus. Hey, hi, man.
You're looking clean, man. You're looking very clean, eh? Very neat. Sure. Hey, you're looking, just look at you, man. I can't believe this is you, man. You're looking great, man. How has it been at the rehab?
The hardest part was my first 3 days in the first week. Oh. There's pains, there's sleepless nights, you know. I'm finding it hard to put words to it because even the thought of it is like, yo, my God.
Do you think you would ever go back?
No, I wouldn't.
Smoking, you know?
No, I wouldn't go back to that ever again.
I'm taking him home to meet his family for the first time in years.
I'm a bit nervous, you know. Yeah, I'm a bit nervous, but yeah, how is she gonna react towards me? That's what worries me.
What happens if your mom rejects you?
That's gonna be, hey, I don't know, that's gonna be like, that's gonna hit me hard. Home sweet home. Oh, home sweet home. Coco.
Shadi. Awufuna ukula.
Zokula kanjani?
Awufuna ukula. Asemhlophe.
Izoyeka kanjani ngoba ngiyakhula baba. Yo. Yeah, I'm just holding the tears to not fall. I'm looking like I'm gonna cry for real because, hey, I've been missing my mom. Khumbula ngikhizwa yonke. Ngikhumbule charting, but ngibe nalamoshoni ukuthi esikhonje wena Oprah wena uyadelela wena yazi ngingazi ukuthi ngingashintsha kanjani man. But you're right, man. Kakhulu. Right, man.
We're more than happy. I'm very pleased. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy. He's my first son.
I feel very proud about Jesus. I hope that, you know, he will show up to them that, you know, he has really changed because it all has to start with him.
Jesus is back on the streets, this time spreading the message to Nyaopi addicts that the drug can be beaten. But across South Africa, dealers continue to push the drugs on the next generation. Addicts are still hustling to get the money to pay for their next fix. And I continue to visit my nephew's grave, praying that other families can be safe from the tragedy of Nyaopi.